we'll have something to look at. It'll be better. So, what are we looking at? We're looking at this picture right here. This is the cemetery plot for the person that I just mentioned. And so, years ago, when I was doing my genealogy, I looked into the Andes, right?
Right.
Here's a picture of, I have superimposed on it a memorial of sorts, but it's a cemetery, right? Doesn't that look like a cemetery? St. Joseph Church Cemetery, Randolph Township, Portage, Ohio. A group of Andes stones. The main stone is for Elizabeth Andes, Nee Lang, 1815 to 1938. Peter J. Andes, 1849 to 1909. To the left is a small weathered stone for Rose E., daughter of Peter and Elizabeth Andes. Back. And
Right.
of course, the common ancestor is Peter's father, who oddly enough was also called Peter. And he was a direct ancestor. What we're talking about? Great, 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 great grandfather. His name was Peter Andes. He arrived at these shores, so he was the original immigrant. I want to get to some of these other topics. A summary of the Zoom meeting with Sister Margaret Mary, October 17th, 2025. The prayer was to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. A lovely little prayer. And what else we talked about last week was the Harvest Fest. We shared stories about Bob Naegeli, my father, specifically Millie's story about his enlistment in the Navy. We also talked about Walter Naegeli a little bit, and we remembered Bill Naegeli, who passed away on October 12th. We showed some pictures, and I asked if anybody remembered him, and Cindy said that was Rosa's dad. And that's right, he was. He's a first cousin, just like Jim Naegeli is a first cousin, and Rosa's his daughter. We also talked about my brother, Joseph Anthony Naegeli, who was born and passed along that same week, October 15th, to be precise, 1953. I actually read a poem about him. All right. And I showed you a picture of me sitting on his unmarked grave in Calvary Cemetery, Massillon, Ohio. This week, we're going to talk about, I have a picture here. Let me minimize this one. Valerie Naegeli. I liked this story, and so I picked it out. There she is. That's Valerie Naegeli. I'm going to read the story for you. I wish I could control the pictures a little better than this and get that out of the way. Valerie Naegeli stood confidently, and this is a story, confidently in front of her fourth grade class at Whipple Heights School, writing equations on the blackboard in bold cursive script. It was 1964, and the new math movement was sweeping the nation. Valerie had spent her summer taking graduate courses at Notre Dame University, learning about the latest methods and techniques in modern mathematics. As she began her lesson, Valerie noticed some puzzled looks on her students' faces. Don't worry, class, she said with a smile. Today we're going to explore sets and subsets. Enough of that. We have a very short story. That's the longest story I'm going to talk about. Valerie Naegeli. Well, there's a lot I can say about that, but let's talk about Sister I don't actually have a photo of Sister Benedict. But in 1956, on October 18th, she wrote Millie, our mom, expressing her prayers and support during a difficult time. And we all know what happened in 1956, specifically on this day. She mentioned her own struggles and prayed for Millie's family, especially her children. Sister Mary Bernadette also shared news about her father's illness and asked Millie to pray for him. The letter conveyed a sense of empathy, faith, and kindness. Let me show some of these pictures here. Okay, this is a picture of not Cindy, but Connie. October 20th. Daddy, this is Millie, my mom's caption. Daddy, Bob, and Connie Lynn, 5 months. Everybody see that picture? That's Connie, 5 months. And I'll just speak to these other photos because they're right next to it. Who can guess who this is a picture of? Can anybody guess who that is?
I can't see any pictures.
Oh, that's Barb, right?
Connie.
That's
That's
me.
Connie.
It's
No,
Connie.
that's not you.
It's Connie.
It's
Oh,
Connie
it's
from
Connie?
Show.
Oh, okay.
Connie.
Oh, her hair's so dark. I didn't know she had
And
dark hair when she was little.
Mike Bronson looks exactly like Connie. I mean, to me, that's looks very much like Connie.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
but
cute.
what happens is it's those school days. It turns out that this time of year, I mean, from years going by, at least back to 1953 to 1954, all the school kids get their pictures sent home. So this was Connie's picture back in 1953, October. And then, of course, I'll probably show next week one of my school days pictures next week. Next week, next to her, we have Connie, or no, that's Cindy, right?
That's
That's
cute.
Cindy when she's 4 years old.
Oh,
I just want to show the picture of that. All right, up here,
cute.
I'm going to just take this one here. We have from the New Smyrna News in Florida, October 20th, 1916. Mrs. John Naegeli and children are located at the Coronado Beach Hotel for a stay of several weeks before proceeding to Long Island, New York. Now, you know who Miss John Naegeli is, right?
Great great grandma.
Yeah, well, that's Alice Naegeli's. That would be my grandfather was her husband, so that would be my grandmother, Mrs. John Naegeli. That's her name. That was Alice. And they tried a chicken farming in Florida for a while. I don't want to comment on that. I'm just looking at this. This day in 1920, October 21st, immigration date. Listen to me. This is the family of Gottfried Naegeli, 1885 to 1952, a distant cousin. Our common ancestors were Johann Weitenbach Naegeli, 1498 to 1561, and his father Hans Rudolf Naegeli, 1458 to 1522. Gottfried was a member of the Church of Latter-day Saints and a genealogist in his own right. He undertook the monumental task of researching the Naegeli family tree and retroactively getting them baptized in the Church of Latter-day Saints. And so I attached the family record for Ulrich and Anna Naegeli, which he enumerates the records for all his children. Now, one of his children was Maria Naegeli, who was my great grandmother. Okay, did you all remember that? Anyway, it's interesting. He's a very distant relative, but he took a particular interest in the Naegeli family of recent years. Now, I say recent years, we're going back to 1900, but 1877 when my grandfather, Johannes Naegeli, or John Naegeli, was born. He enumerates the records for all his children, including Maria. What he did is he researched all the kids and had them baptized retroactively in the Church of Latter-day Saints, except for Maria. He couldn't find any information on Maria, which bothers me because he was great for everybody else. I said he was ultimately unsuccessful in finding any records for Maria other than her birth date, but he unwittingly may have been the cause of the confusion about the notation in her son, Johannes, my grandfather's birth register, about being missing from birth. I think he stirred the pot. I think he tried to find out through the administration. This is just my theory. Did he try to find out what happened to Johannes? where he left. We all know he arrived in the United States in 1903, but apparently he was a missing person back in Switzerland. So what I say, all of Ulrich's children, other than Maria, were baptized in the later day Saint Church just a few years earlier than when the record was sealed in 1951.
Is that Mormon?
Yeah, that's Mormon. That is exactly right. And they have one of their tenets or whatever, if you can be dead and still baptized. Anyway, that's what happened to them. Now, they were baptized in the Catholic faith, I do believe. In Bern, I have all the records of that. But he made a point of getting them all baptized in the Church of Latter-day Saints. But in order to do that, he did research. And he was kind of like a source for a lot of my work. So like I say, you all know I've got a family tree on the Naegeli side that suddenly goes back to 1400 or so. And I have a biography of his family that goes on, but it's a very moving biography. But I won't say anything more about it. We showed the picture about Connie and her school days photo. I'm going to show school days photo of me next week. I hope you appreciated all those stories and pictures and stuff.
I did.